What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from Anime Uproar, back at it again with another Demon Slayer video. And since you guys like the why everyone is afraid of Tundra video so much, and Nezuko had some epic moments recently in the anime, I thought it was the perfect time to discuss Nezuko and why she too is special and fearsome. If you do enjoy these videos and want to keep them coming, then you know what to do. Channel the Hashira within and smash that like button with no mercy. Remember, smashing that like button's Hashira energy and passing is scared Muzan energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications or you will miss future Demon Slayer videos and updates. Now a quick thank you to Displate for sponsoring this video. Displate is the leading marketplace for the highest quality metal posters, and I've been a very satisfied customer of Displate for many years. They have millions of different designs available in all possible areas, including anime and manga, gaming, sports, movies, and more. I already own a bunch of their metal posters, including this amazing Rengoku poster, and I absolutely love them. Displate provides the highest quality prints on metal. There are so many great choices that reflect your own unique hobbies and passions, and you can mount them on the wall in just a few seconds with the help of a magnet, so no other tools are necessary. I chose a few of my favorite displays for you guys to see, so check them out by clicking the link in the description. You can use the link in my description to get an instant discount at checkout, and every time you buy something using that link, you are not only getting an awesome poster, but you're also directly supporting this channel at the same time. Just click that top link in the description to check out Displate right now. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. Immediately, we knew Nezuko was a special demon because she didn't need to eat humans to survive, and she could also escape Muzan's grasp and control over her just like Tamayo did. Obviously, that alone irritates Muzan, the king of demons, but Nezuko really starts to impress demon power wise when she awakens her blood demon art against Lower Moon Rui. Even before that, Tamayo noted that Nezuko improved quickly and dramatically when she fought against the Balls demon, but Tamayo still knew that she wasn't ready to defeat that demon yet. Similarly with Rui, she gets caught in his strings and is not the star of the fight per se, but she does play a key role in helping Tanjiro. As Tanjiro is about to have his head sliced off by Rui's powerful threads, Nezuko activates her blood demon art, exploding blood. As the name indicates, her blood is set on fire as we see it engulf all of Rui's threads, including the ones that were about to cut Tanjiro's face. Her demon art is described by the narrator as flammable demon blood with an explosive supernatural quality. Lower Moon Rui is shocked that the fire was strong enough to burn away his threads. The key word here is fire. As we'll later find out, Demon Slayer wording is very important. Flames are associated with Kyojo Rengoku's flame breathing style, which is derived from the first ever breathing style created by the strongest Demon Slayer in history, Yoriichi Tsugikuni. Kyojo could not help Tanjiro himself with understanding the dance of the fire god, aka Hinokami Kagura, because fire breathing, if we want to call it that, is not the same as flame breathing. Fire breathing is actually called sun breathing, as we learn later, and it was passed down to Tanjiro and his ancestors through the dance of the fire god. Tanjiro's family, a family of coal burners, is thus associated with the fire god and the strongest breath style. So it's no wonder looking back that Nezuko's blood demon art turned out to be fire, just as it's no surprise Tanjiro's breathing turned out to be sun, aka fire breathing. And Nezuko's fire shares properties with the sun too, in that it doesn't hurt humans but will burn demons and what they produce, like threads or poisons. Furthermore, some of her blood was on Tanjiro's broken sword, and when it exploded, it pushed Tanjiro's Nichiren sword forward and gave him the power to cut through Rui's neck. Keyword there is the power to do it, because as we find out, he doesn't actually do it since Rui detaches his own head first. We can't say Tanjiro or Nezuko are very strong at this point in the story, relatively speaking, since they would have lost this Lower Moon if Water Hashira Giyu didn't show up and effortlessly take care of the demon that was giving them so much trouble. Still, we got a glimpse into the epicness and specialness to come, and in Nezuko's case, we really see her bloom, demon power wise, in her fight against Daki, the fight we just witnessed in the new anime season. And we should keep in mind that, like Tanjiro, Nezuko is improving over the course of the story, so it can be assumed that her fire burns stronger and takes longer to regenerate from as the story progresses. Keep in mind, when Nezuko enters the fight against Daki, it's because Tanjiro was about to die. You could say Tanjiro was about to defeat Daki for a second, but his avatar-like Yoriichi state is interrupted by the fact that he went beyond his limits for too long and wasn't even breathing. He went from being about to win to being paralyzed by the pain of pushing himself too hard. He was completely at Daki's mercy, and so Nezuko decided to help and delivers an epic kick against Daki. By the way, just a fun fact, it's actually a really good thing that Tanjiro didn't cut her neck at this point, because then Gyutaro would have shown up earlier and he would not be so easy to occupy until the others arrived. So back to Nezuko, and you can tell she's angry with all the sweat and popping veins. The reason she's so angry and pumped up here is that Daki contains such a high concentration of Muzan's blood, so it's stirring her memories of when she lost her family to the Demon King. All the revenge she wants to take on Muzan is being awakened here and focused on Daki. Nezuko is clearly on Muzan's mind too, since when she sees her, Daki realizes that Nezuko is the one Muzan told her about. The narrator also tells us that human beings have limits but demons don't. Thus Nezuko's anger burns just as hot, but it has no limitations. Her anger is infinite. It drives her on until she wipes her enemy from the face of the earth. And in this case, that enemy is Daki. Additionally, we find out that just like he wants the special earrings wearing Tanjiro dead, he's telling his demons, in this case Daki, to find and finish off Nezuko, the demon who escaped his grip. Clearly, just as with Tanjiro, he views Nezuko as a threat that must be dealt with and can't be ignored. At first, it looks bad for Nezuko. After all, Daki is an upper moon, or at least part of an upper moon, so she is strong. She slices up Nezuko and sends her flying into a building. Daki assumes that Nezuko is weak because she doesn't feed on humans, and oh boy, is she ever wrong. Daki says a half-developed demon like Nezuko won't quickly regenerate from those wounds, but Nezuko does to Daki's shock. Daki cut her in half, and that should definitely take more time to heal from. Daki starts to notice that the speed of our Nezuko's regeneration is that of an upper rank moon. Now this relatively early into the story, our Nezuko being compared to an upper moon is so hype, but that's not where it stops. Nezuko goes on to transform into a new form. She hits puberty like a brick wall and even develops a cool looking horn on the right side of her forehead. She also now has vine patterns all over her body, further suggesting that she bloomed metaphorically. Vines are also associated with the sun because they need the sun to grow, so another possible connection to the sun there. At this point, Daki is afraid of Nezuko, asking herself, what's that feeling? Her menacing aura has changed, end quote. Nezuko launches another kick, one of my favorite attacks in the story. Daki cuts her leg like last time, but Nezuko just immediately regrows the leg as if nothing happened and finishes the kick. Again, Daki's shocked by Nezuko's regeneration powers, stating it's impossible that she regenerated instantly because that would make her regenerative powers even greater than Daki's. But it's true, meaning that Nezuko has even more power than Daki already. In this form, Nezuko is even stronger than Tanjiro in this specific point in the story, and as we'll see later, I think she had to be taken out of this battle or it wouldn't have been challenging enough for our side. I absolutely love this powerful Nezuko form, but it does come at a cost, at least initially, and that cost is she stops being herself and becomes more like a wild, bloodthirsty animal slash vampire. Daki tries everything, but Nezuko is wrecking her. That's the only way to put it. Daki tries cutting Nezuko, but she just instantly regenerates. She tries to trap her in her sash, but Nezuko uses her blood demon art to set Daki on fire, and this releases her from Daki's sash as well. Again, Daki doesn't say flames, but, and I quote, fire, I'm burning, end quote. Then Nezuko proceeds to repeatedly stomp on a burning Daki in a merciless way. I know it's supposed to be disturbing too, how much Nezuko is losing it, but it's also just so awesome at the same time. She then kicks burnt and beat up Daki into a building, and this is where things get complicated. She sees bleeding humans, and in this form she can't prevent herself from attacking them. She sweats and salivates at the sight of human blood. But as she lunges at them, Tanjiro comes to the rescue, restraining Nezuko with his sword and its sheath. Against Daki, Nezuko definitely proved that she could be feared by demons, but it's not hard to understand why this feral version of her freaks out humans as well. And of course, Tanjiro, Giyu, and Urokodaki fear nothing more than her becoming a murderer by taking an innocent human life. Nezuko even gives Tanjiro a pretty good thrashing as she's trying to escape. She jumps with an incredible force and smashes Tanjiro's back through the ceiling. Nezuko is clearly more powerful than Tanjiro here, who's barely holding her back. In the meantime, we see Daki's face, which is still burnt. It goes to show how strong Nezukos Fire has become. It should not take this long for Daki to heal, but just as Dance of the Fire God attacks and bright red blades make it harder for demons to regenerate than normal breathing attacks, it seems that Nezukos Fire is harder to recover from than normal demon arts. Again, this is probably in part because it represents and is tied to the idea of the sun and the fire god. Daki straight up says, even for me, it'll take a while to heal all this. Very impressive stuff from Nezuko here. Tengen shows up finally and calls Daki too weak to be an upper moon. In a split second, without Daki even seeing it coming, Tengen cut off her head, showing that Tengen the Hashira is pretty impressive because Tanjiro was struggling hard and almost died himself against Daki. We can't really judge how Nezuko did compared to Tengen because yes, Tengen finished her off quicker, but Nezuko has no way to finish her off without a Nichiren Blade or the sun. She did utterly overpower Daki though, which is all she can really be expected to do as a demon. This is just a possibility, but I find it interesting. Perhaps Nezuko's fire, if used enough, could, like the sun, actually finish off a demon. For instance, it would be interesting if we saw her use it against a really weak demon just to see if it's possible. Nichiren Blades can end a demon, so why not this fire ability from the chosen demon? However, that is pure speculation and she never actually killed a demon with her fire. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if this blood demon art that comes from a fire god worshipping family could kill a demon in its final most powerful incarnation, just like Nichiren Blades. Tengen ends up helping Tanjiro calm Nezuko down. He suggests singing her a lullaby and it actually does the trick. Leave it to the sound Hashira to know the power of soothing sounds and nostalgic music. Nezuko starts crying and reverts back into her adorable little form. She goes to sleep and that's really it for Nezuko this arc, except for a brief reappearance at the end of the fight. Like I said, the writer needed to put her to sleep here because it would have been too one-sided if they had this Nezuko to help take down Daki and Gyutaro. But to be fair, Tanjiro did mention she lost a lot of blood and this was her first time unlocking this new form, so it does make logical sense that she'd need to sleep for a while to recover from all that. Although everyone arguably gets stronger over the course of this battle, especially Tanjiro, it's noteworthy that Zenitsu and Inosuke together have trouble taking on Daki initially, despite the fact that they are working together. In fact, it is only when Tanjiro joins in to help them that they succeed in taking her head for the first time, and Inosuke runs with it like it was a football until he gets hit unexpectedly by Gyutaro, who just seemingly finished off Tengen. The reason I bring this up is that it took Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu working together here to overpower Daki, while Nezuko did it on her own, and there was an even more pronounced gap between their powers. Admittedly, Daki does say she's more powerful with Gyutaro awake, but still, it presumably can't be that much more powerful if Gyutaro was being occupied with another fight. So it could be argued that Nezuko grew so fast power-wise that at this point at least, she surpassed Zenitsu and Inosuke working together, and perhaps even tied the power of all three of the demon-slaying amigos working together. She's easily the strongest of the four. At the end of the fight, it's arguably a different story, especially with Tanjiro's evolving Demon Slayer Mark sun-breathing avatar state thing going on that lets him cut through Gyutaro's neck. However, it's true that we didn't see the limits of what this new form Nezuko was capable of, since she was taken out of battle after easily wrecking Daki. Furthermore, Nezuko wakes up near the end of the fight and she seems completely fine after losing all that blood and unlocking a new form. She saves Tanjiro from Gyutaro's final attack. Her fire also heals the poison-tainted skin of Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Tengen, saving all three of their lives, especially Tengen since this dude couldn't even talk anymore and he was pretty much at death's door. So yeah, Nezuko saved the day with no sign of exhaustion on her. She was arguably the most impressive character of the arc, and that's why she had to be taken out of the battle for a while to let the others shine and make the fight more interesting. Thus, I'd say Nezuko is already upper moon level here, as Daki pointed out when discussing her regeneration abilities, and she continues to get more impressive. And keep in mind, upper moons are supposed to beat Hashira one-on-one, which is why the upper moons didn't change in over a century. Since it was suggested that Daki ate multiple Hashira in the story, we can assume that Nezuko, who wrecked Daki, could beat certain Hashira too at this point. Side note, as I always say, it appears this generation of Hashira is stronger than others because Gyutaro was more impressed by Tengen than he was by the Hashira he killed in the past, and in my view and his own, Tengen is one of the weaker Hashira of this generation. Luckily, Nezuko versus our Hashira never has to be put to the test since she's on the good side, and not only is her growing physical power now an annoyance to Muzan, but the blood demon art Fire is also something to worry about, since it can hurt demons in a way that reduces regeneration powers, and as we saw, it can heal people who would have otherwise died from demon poison. I also don't want to make the mistake of overhyping Nezuko's power at this point in the story, since she does meet more than her match against Upper Moon 4 Han Tengu, who in all fairness is very strong. Nevertheless, Nezuko makes some significant progress in this fight. The fight starts with Tanjiro, Genya, and Nezuko taking on Hantengu's clones with their different powers like electricity, wind, sound, and flying. Nezuko quickly changes into her horned form and this time seems to be in much better control of it, which is pretty standard shonen logic. Nezuko is harder to deal with than the clones expect. A clone is impressed by what a powerful kick Nezuko can deliver. She then proceeds to burn him and sends him flying with the wind powers of a fan weapon. So she did outfight at least that one clone, but then she's hit with the staff of the other, which runs electricity through her. It won't kill her since she's a demon, but it will keep her from moving as long as the electricity keeps running through her. It's interesting seeing what demons end up doing against other demons to take them down or keep them from interfering, since they don't have a way outside of the sun to actually kill each other. Tanjiro comes and saves Nezuko from the electricity staff. Nezuko returns the favor and stops the staff before it can penetrate Tanjiro and sets the clone on fire. The clone is clearly in pain and comments on what a tricky move this fire is. Tanjiro can't help but think that the fire is incredible and Nezuko's blood is doing the trick. Clearly, dealing with one of these clones hasn't been that challenging for Nezuko, but then the fan one comes back and the force of his wind attack sends Nezuko and Tanjiro falling to the bottom floor and releases the burning clone from the fire. It seems at the very least like electricity, the fire can immobilize a clone, but it would have been interesting seeing what would happen if it kept going, since Tanjiro said it was doing the trick. Perhaps if used long enough, the clone might have at least looked like Daki and taken longer to regenerate, but as things stand, he looks fine after being released from the fire. Back to the fight, and from the fan attack, Tanjiro passed out, and when he comes to, Nezuko is carrying him and trying to run away from the clone attacks. As a demon, it obviously makes sense that Nezuko can take more damage than Tanjiro and recover quicker. As they're wondering what they're gonna do, Nezuko uses her blood to set Tanjiro's black sword on fire, and it becomes bright red, the strongest color and the most effective against demons. As you already noticed, Nezuko really shines in a team, like right here. Yeah, she is strong individually, but a big part of her strength is also making the team stronger, like giving Tanjiro a super effective blade to use, healing the others from Gyutaro's poison, using her super effective fire that only hurts demons while the demon slayers are free to fight on without worry, saving Tanjiro's butt over and over again, and so on. She's an insanely valuable asset to the demon slayers, and that's another reason why Muzan wants her gone, in addition to her being a living symbol of his power not being absolute since she escaped his grip. And the red blade and the upgrade that accompanies it allows Tanjiro to take down 3 clones, and they regenerate slower because of the burning associated with the red blade. Genya takes down the 4th, but that's not enough because those aren't the real body. Tanjiro and Nezuko are strong enough now together to distract the other clones long enough for Genya to find the real body, but Genya is not strong enough to take its head. Tanjiro tries to take the head, but even he can't since the effect of Nezuko's blood has worn off. Once again, it is Nezuko who saves Tanjiro from the strongest clone yet, the hatred clone that resulted from the combination of the other 4. Aside from being able to use wood manipulation in the form of giant wooden dragons, this clone can use the blood demon arts of the other clones as well. And he's unkillable unless you get the real body, which is somewhere else hiding. The hatred clone is insanely powerful, and its mere presence is so overpowering that it makes it difficult for Tanjiro to breathe, and it makes his heart hurt. Similarly, Genya feels the pressure and his limbs feel weak and he can barely stand. As the hatred clone mentions, humans aren't the only ones whose strength can surge, and Upper Moon 4 is getting stronger when Hantengu, the original body, is pressed into tight spots like this one. That's a quick detail, but it's important to note. Potentially they could have already taken care of how strong Upper Moon 4 was when the fight started, but the problem is Upper Moon 4 keeps evolving and getting stronger. Based on the stench of blood, Tanjiro believes that Upper Moon 4 has probably eaten 200 people, and for demons, the more they eat, the stronger they're supposed to get. It's no surprise then that Nezuko is not stronger than this hatred clone here. In fact, Nezuko, Genya, and Tanjiro working together are not strong enough to take it on, as the 5 wooden dragon heads keep launching their attacks. At one point, it looks like all 3 are done for, but then Mitsuri the Love Hashira comes to the rescue. In the end, it takes Mitsuri with an awakened Demon Slayer mark, which is pretty much like going Super Saiyan for a Demon Slayer, to hold the hatred clone back long enough for the others to go after the real body. Even then, she almost loses, but luckily, as we'll get to, they manage to cut off the real head in the nick of time. As they're chasing the real body, Nezuko helps save Tanjiro another time using her fire. Then the time for a difficult decision comes. The sun is rising, the real body is approaching innocent villagers to replenish its strength. Tanjiro has to decide whether he'll keep covering Nezuko from the sun or save the innocent humans from the demon. He is paralyzed from indecision. He can't decide, so it looks like he'll just stay with Nezuko. But then Nezuko makes a decision for him by launching him into the air. It looks like she'll burn in the sun, and Tanjiro, with tears in his eyes, finally slices the main body. It looks like it's the end for Nezuko, but then it's revealed that Nezuko has become the first demon to be immune to the sun, aka to conquer the sunlight. Upon learning this, Muzan is ecstatic because he hopes by absorbing her, he can become immune too. He calls Nezuko the chosen demon, and this immunity to the sun, a rare condition that never even appeared in the 12 Kizuki, aka demon moons, so that's one way Nezuko already surpassed even the stronger upper moons. Nezuko is so important now that Muzan foresees a massive battle with Nezuko at its center. Unfortunately, everyone hoping for Nezuko's incredible growth in power and fighting potential to continue will be disappointed at this point. Instead, she is given medicine by Tamayo so that she can become fully human again. This medicine is hard on her and she's bedridden as a result and looked after by Urokodaki until the transformation to human is complete. Now, it's great that Nezuko becomes human again. That was the goal after all. And the mangaka in Demon Slayer is not one to glorify power and would prefer her characters, even weakened, to live a simple, happy life as humans, which I respect. However, that means Nezuko stops growing power-wise, and when she returns to being human, as you can imagine, she's much weaker than she was in her demon form, and is not really a combatant anymore. Still, it must be said, her potential was crazy. At certain points, as we saw, she was outpacing Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke in power, like when she embarrassed Daki with her new form. She learned to control that form, and she would have been able to grow more, and potentially beat almost any demon by dragging out the fight long enough until the sun came out. As mentioned, not any upper moon, not even Muzan, was able to conquer the sun as Nezuko did. She surpassed them all in that way. There's no telling how much stronger the chosen demon would have gotten if she'd unlocked stronger forms, how strong her blood demon art would eventually become, and so on. As Daki mentioned, the only way most demons could beat her was by exposing her to the sun, but this would no longer work, so she'd be practically unkillable. That being said, Muzan is known to absorb demons and wanted to absorb her, so he could have potentially beat her, but besides that, she could have grown in power along with Tanjiro and potentially could have defended herself against him in battle, or at least against the remaining upper moons. As things turned out though, Tanjiro kept getting stronger and she didn't. So Nezuko did have frightening potential and was feared by demons and humans alike at certain points in the story. She had a rapid rate of growth, and just like there was a point where Tanjiro was about to become the demon king, Nezuko could have become a demon queen. When Muzan was talking about Tanjiro being able to conquer the sunlight and become the strongest demon, the king of demons, he mentioned that this is possible because he is the elder brother of Nezuko and thus shares her blood. And he's right, Tanjiro goes on to conquer the sun just like Nezuko, which means that we can take Tanjiro's potential to become the strongest demon and conquer decapitation by Nichiren Blade 2 and apply it to Nezuko as well, since as Muzan says, they share the same blood. So yeah, Tanjiro had Demon King potential and Nezuko had Demon Queen potential before her brother even became a demon. Like with Tanjiro, her immunity to the sun would have meant that bright red blades wouldn't be effective as they are against all the upper moons and even Muzan. And as I mentioned, I respect the mangaka's story and decision to value the simple happy life over becoming stronger and stronger at all costs. But a part of me still wishes we got to see Nezuko's full Demon Queen potential because it would have been terrifyingly powerful even if she ended up becoming a human in the end anyways. But yeah, that is it for this video about why Demon Queen Nezuko is so fear-worthy, especially when we look at what could have been if her insane and rapid rate of growth wasn't suddenly halted while Tanjiro's continued. If you did enjoy this video and you want to keep them coming, you know what to do. Channel Demon Slayer Within and smash that like button with no mercy. Remember, smashing that like button is Demon Slayer energy and passing is scared Muzan energy, so choose wisely. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications or you will miss future Demon Slayer videos and updates. And while you wait for the next video to drop, feel free to check out my huge and growing Demon Slayer playlist that includes videos on why everyone is afraid of Tanjiro, all the Hashira, all the demon moons, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Leave suggestions for future video ideas that will set your heart ablaze. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.